I remember Christmas Day 2017, specifically seeing my dad receive one of his gifts, a copy of Battlefront II. Now, my dad sadly didn't have enough time for gaming and I was the primary user of the console in the house anyway, so eventually the copy of the game wound its way into my hands. To say I played Battlefront II a lot is a severe understatement. If I had to estimate, I would have had around 1,500 hours. During that time I saw the game in all its stages, from the release of the first major update to the final update. I saw the good and the bad of the game, and in my later years I was a pretty big Hero Showdown sweat too. So what happened to Battlefront 2? Battlefront 2 released as a microtransaction heavy, unbalanced and buggy game. The crystal and loot box system was pitiful, forcing players who didn't want to spend money on the game to grind for tens of hours to unlock certain heroes. I mean, just imagine buying a game then further having to excessively grind just to unlock Darth Vader. The campaign wasn't exactly a gem either. Although I as a kid actually really enjoyed the campaign, a lot of people criticised the lackluster writing and uninspired missions. And EA was clearly to blame for the state of the game at this time. After all, most games with their logo on it carried the same problems. But Battlefront 2 wouldn't stay down for long. In March 2018, EA removed the pay-to-win loot boxes and reworked the progression system to remove the pay-heavy elements. They added a new skill point system used to unlock and upgrade star cards, meaning players would no longer have to empty their wallets in order to progress. This would be only the beginning of Battlefront 2's redemption. Updates were coming more often, and the Clone Wars major update was the turning point. 3 new heroes, new vehicles and maps, and the reinvigoration of the community. When this update came out, I was ecstatic. Release Anakin and Grievous were completely busted, and topping the leaderboards in multiplayer got a lot easier if you could be the first player in your team to get those heroes. Me and my friends would go over to each other's houses and 1v1 each other in custom arcade. It was peak life. But all good things must come to an end, and so too is the case with Battlefront 2. In April 2020, EA released the final major update for Battlefront 2, Battle for Scarif. After that, live service for the game was cut. No more updates would be coming. Much of the community was disappointed in EA for abandoning the game at its peak, and most of the community were content with the expectation that the rumoured Battlefront 3 would be releasing soon. But a year went by, and no news of the new installment in the franchise was given. Slowly, players began to leave the game, now becoming harder and harder to find online matches. Battlefront 2 became a distant mirage and slowly faded from the hopes of the community. The golden age of Star Wars gaming had come to a close. In 2024, Battlefront 2 is still by all means an exceptional game. The graphics hold up extremely well, the gameplay loop is entertaining, and the wealth of modes and characters to master means the game stays fresh regardless of how much you play it. If you are a Star Wars fan, or even just someone who likes the Battlefield-style combined arms combat, you will love Battlefront 2. The community, albeit small, is still active. Fans of the franchise such as myself can only hope that Battlefront 3 will one day soon release and bring about a new and better time for Star Wars gamers. Unfortunately, the news isn't all good. The game's main issue aside from a declining player base is hacking. Every now and again in your Galactic Assault match or Supremacy match, you will get a hacker who puts everyone in spectator mode and starts mass killing everyone. It's frustrating and ruins the game for everyone, but without live service there isn't any way to stop the cheaters. In the video title, I said that Battlefront 2 is the greatest Star Wars game, and some might disagree, but here is why I think that. Battlefront 2 has numerous maps, in space and in atmosphere, incorporating a much more in-depth vehicular combat feature than its predecessor Battlefront 1. The progression system is perfected, and there are so many troops and heroes to learn that it is impossible to get bored. The Hero Showdown community is intense, and although toxic, serves as a great competitive scene within the game. In the gameplay you may notice I'm a low level, and that is because I recently switched to PC after selling my PS4, so don't jump into the comments telling me I'm not a veteran of the game, guys, just trust me. With all that said and done, I hope you guys liked the video. If you did enjoy it, the only way you can show your support aside from watching is to subscribe and or like, which is also free. But if you don't want to, that's fine as well, no pressure. That's about all I have to say for this one, so good night.